Hey guys, and welcome to the vlog. Yes, I'm very much laying in my bed right now because I made the mistake and had very acidic foods or meals. Like I had a lunch yesterday, I had pasta, and then for dinner I had rice and red gravy and barbecue. And honestly, at that restaurant where I get my barbecue, it tastes amazing, but it is so spicy. I have been having acid reflux all day. As you can see, I have Tums back there, and oh my gosh. Yeah, so this is like the most comfortable position. I know you're supposed to like sit up, but for me that was not working, and I just feel best when I'm on my stomach. So that's what we're doing. But I need to tell you what I'm reading. So I finished another section in Wilderness Tales, the one about injuries and accidents. And yes, this one was so emotional. Like I get sad thinking, like sometimes I'll just be driving and will think of a scene from this and just be like, oh my gosh. There was this one in one of the stories. Let me actually open this up so I can say what stories I'm talking about and say my thoughts on them. Okay, accidents and injuries, the section. I think it was Walking Out, the first one in here. This boy, he doesn't really have a great relationship with his dad because he lives in Chicago with his mom and his dad is like out in Montana. And so obviously being so far apart, in 1988, before, you know, social media and all was a thing, it was very strained. But his dad takes him on a hunting trip, which isn't something he's too excited about. He's a city guy, you know? And but his dad is telling the story of going hunting with his own dad, and he killed a moose, and her baby was like right there, the calf was, and it wouldn't leave the mom's body. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sad. And the boy was like, I don't want to go hunting after you tell me that. And I'm like, exactly. But I think anytime you read about people being injured out in the wild, because that's such a big fear, anytime you go somewhere, you have to keep that in account. I've been to several national parks like Yellowstone, Grand Canyon, and you really have to think about your surroundings and where you are. Because as I said, in Yellowstone, I've seen caribou and buffalo and bear up close, and obviously they're wild animals. You have to be very careful. And then even like with those geysers and what are the things where it's like very colorful, are those called geysers? They're not shooting up. They're thermal springs. Is that what they're called? I mean, obviously you have to make sure you don't fall off the path and into those. I mean, that you are on like a wooden boardwalk. So I do not know how people fall in those. Like you're very much breaking a ton of rules by doing that. And then at the Grand Canyon and even on the Blue Ridge Parkway, it's very mountainous. Like you're high up and you could take one bad step and fall off a cliff. So you have to be so careful. Even growing up, I played a lot in like pine forest and farmland, like fields. And you still have to be careful in that kind of nature, even though it's not as dense as, like, as I said, Yellowstone. But we had to watch out for snakes. We had to make sure when we were around the creek that none of our friends fell in and drowned. So you really had to be careful. You have to be careful in nature. And I think that's what so much emphasizes. I've never done anything like whitewater rafting, which we see in Selway. Yeah. Pam Houston. Yeah, basically all these authors. David Heumann, Pam Houston, Gretel Ehrlich, and Annie, this is French, Prou, I don't know. I really liked all of their writing styles, so I definitely want to check out more of theirs. I know I added Pam Houston's something with cowboys in the title. But Testimony of the Donkey is the one that I read today. And oh my gosh, that stressed me out so much. There was a movie, I think it was James Franco. It was one of the Francos, which I do like the Francos. Like, James Franco's the canceled actor that I like. I think we all have one where I like everything he's in. I like his comedies. I like his dramas. I just think he's a great actor. And a director as well. He's directed some TV episodes from shows I've watched and has done a good job. But personal life, not so great of a guy. but he was in a movie where he gets stuck, and it's based on a true story, stuck in like a canyon and between a rock, and like has to cut off his own limb. I don't remember if it was arm or leg, and I'm just like, that's crazy thinking about doing something like that. But we have Catch and Release tomorrow is the section I'll be starting. We have Ernest Hemingway starting us off there, so big name, who I do like Ernest Hemingway's writing. But I did start a new book today, and oh my gosh, it's way back here. I'm sorry, y'all are going everywhere. This is such awkward. Okay, so somebody, one of my viewers, I'm assuming, gave my dad this book to give to me, and this is Spear by Michael Crichton. No, there's an H. I'm not sure, but he's written a lot of books that I want to get to. So this is Spear, and this is science fiction, obviously, because that's what we've been focusing on, and I'm like 40 pages in. Actually 45 pages in, and they find they're doing telephone lines like underwater from Sydney to Honolulu in the Pacific, and the line snaps on something. So they do the sonar or whatever. I don't know if it was sonar at the time, and they can't find out what that they're like there's nothing natural under there that we could have got stuck on. So we're gonna call the Navy and see if they have anything under here that we don't know about. And the Navy's like, the Chinese had a submarine go down there, but it wasn't that. It's a spaceship that is under the Pacific Ocean that they think has been there for over 300 years. For that would be the amount of time it took the coral and reefs, I don't know the plural of that, to form on top of it. So a spaceship from 300 years ago. So obviously NASA was not around 300 years ago, and the Soviets didn't have a space program 300 years ago, so they're like, it has to be alien aircraft. Some people don't think it is, but I don't know what they think it is yet. But it's basically, essentially, they found a UFO in the Pacific Ocean, and I am loving it so far. I am so intrigued by what this is going to be. This is straight up the kind of sci-fi, one of the kind of sci-fis that I love. I love like alien sci-fi, like First Contact sci-fi, and then I love pandemic and climate change. But this is very reminiscent of the Themis Files. I don't remember. Sylvia Nouvelle. Love the Themis Files. Probably my favorite sci-fi. No, because it's called The Midwife, but it's one of my favorite sci-fi series. And there was another book it was reminding me of, but I'm blanking now. I cannot remember. It was reminding me of another. And it was one where I was like, it's very loosely reminded me of, but kind of reminded me of it. I will let y'all know if I remember, but I'll be getting back into that at 6. I don't know what time it is right now. I'm laying on my laptop. Like, what am I doing? And where is my phone? I don't know what's happening here. This is madness. It's crazy out here. I am back, and yes, I did change clothes just to get, back in my comfy clothes because I am home for the day and all of that. So I'm about to eat dinner, and Fred won't still leave right time I start recording when he's been in here for like 2 hours. But I'm done reading Spear for the day, and I now realize why the book is called Spear, but I read 33%, which that did not feel like 123 pages at all. It definitely reads very fast, and I am enjoying it still. They don't know if this came from a different universe, from the future. I love the idea. Well, I love a lot of ideas, sorry shivers, that aliens are humans of the future who are time traveling. I think that's really fascinating. And then that, but at the same time, I don't like that because they're just humans. That's boring. I'm like, there can be aliens on other planets and other universe. That's more exciting. But still, aliens, I love them. Like, I'm wearing Bigfoot right now. I know Bigfoot's not an alien, but he falls into like the same paranormal category. But yes, so I am getting some of the side characters confused. Ted and Harry. There was a section in one of the first chapters where they say like what each of these people's roles are, like what kind of like marine biologists, saying what their jobs were on the cruise. So I'm definitely gonna have to go back to that and take a picture of it so I can just have that for reference and can keep the characters straight. So I will go back and take a picture of that, and then that will definitely enhance the experience more than me being confused. Setting, oh, okay, I remember what book that it was reminding me of, and it's because of the setting. is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. I love that book. It is like a sci-fi thriller kind of thing with mermaids or sirens, whatever you want to classify them as. And they are in the Marianas Trench, and that is in the Pacific Ocean, and they go in on a boat with scientists and all that, and that's kind of similar to this by the setting. Writing, as I said, it's very fast paced, so it's good writing. I mean, it's nothing great, but it's fast paced, and I love that because I was very scared that this would be dense and that I would struggle with it, but so far it hasn't been like that at all. And then again, the plot is the highlight for me so far. I think this is so intriguing, and I'm wanting to know what's going to happen and what this thing is, why it's there, what it's carrying. I want to know. So I'm glad that I am enjoying Spear, and I will be starting a new mood read later because I did finish Milk Fed. So it's a historical fiction, like 3 timelines, but all in one location. I love stories like that. Like, that's my middle name. But I am eating a very bland dinner. I do feel better. I never felt bad, but you know, like it's calmed down a lot. So I'm just gonna eat a very bland dinner of butter beans because I know that beans usually help with like acid reflux. Usually green beans do, but I wanted butter beans, so that's what I'm having. I wasn't in a green bean mood. I go in with vegetables, way off topic. I go in cycles of which ones I like more. In the minute I'm in my butter bean era, but sometimes it's garden peas, but garden peas, they're really high in fiber and they will make me cramp up. And then green beans are my other. I usually go between those 3. I do eat other vegetables, but those are my 3 favorites. So we're doing butter beans. Hey guys, so I did want to tell y'all about the book that I am about to start, which is The Castle Keepers. It has 3 authors, which is Amy K. Runyon, Janelle Siskalinski, and Rachel McMillan. I don't think I've read any of these authors, but I'm not 100% positive. I'm glad that I don't keep a spreadsheet anymore because that would be so difficult to put 3 different authors. But let me tell y'all what this is about. So Leedswick Castle has housed the Allenwick family in the English countryside for generations, despite a family curse determined to destroy their legacy and erase them from history. That sounds like something I would write, which is why I'm intrigued. So we first have 1870. After a disastrous dinner at the Astor Manor forces her to flee New York in disgrace, socialite Beatrice Holbrook knows her performance in London must be a triumph. When she catches the eye of Charles Allenwick, one of the town's most inevitably titled, that's not the right word, titled bachelors, she prepares to attempt a social coup and become the future Marchioness of Northridge. Then tragedy and scandal strike the Allenwick family, and Beatrice must assume the role of a lifetime, that of her true brave self. Then we have one in 1917, the movie. Artist Elena Hamilton arrives in Northumberland, determined to transform a soldier's wounds into something beautiful. That's tugging on the heartstrings. Tobias Allenwick's parents have commissioned a lifelike mask to help their son return to his former self after battle wounds partially destroyed his face. But Elena doesn't see a man who needs fixing. She sees a man who needn't hide. Yet secrets from their past threaten to chase away the peace they found in each other and destroy the future they're creating. Oh my gosh, that one sounds so good. And then we had 1945. So Alec Allenwick returns home from the war, haunted but determined to leave death and destruction behind. With the help of Bridget, has an A, Mare, the brilliant young psychoanalyst whose correspondence was a lifetime during his time on the Western Front, he reconstructs his family's large estate into a rehabilitation center for similarly wounded soldiers. Alec's efforts may be the only chance to redeem his family legacy and break the curse on the Allenwick name once and for all. 3 beloved authors share stories of the Allenwick family through the generations, revealing how love and war can change a place, but only as people can unshackle it from the misties of the past. Yes, this is right up my alley. I love multi-timelines following one family, generational style family saga. We absolutely love that. And I'm looking out on the authors. on the to see if I've read any of their books, but I'm not seeing any names except for the last one, Rachel. But yes, I will get into reading. It is 9 o'clock. Happy Tuesday. I don't actually know how I ended up here. I'm under the covers of my bed, which was not intentional because I wanted to keep my bed made for when I was recording, and I didn't do that. So I don't know when I made that decision to get under the covers. So I got to 69% in Spear, and yes, I'm still loving it. Definitely a 4-star category because I never know with Kapow how it's going to end up. I love Kapow. I've been using the 7 number one of all the letters and like since this year, because I was just doing the original 4 that I write about in my book reviews, but now I have upped it to doing 7 of them. And yes, so characters are fine, no strong connection to them, but I do think you definitely need to take note of the characters and what their roles are on this mission, because they can get a little confusing. So definitely do make sure to make a note of that. Atmosphere, it's great that we're stuck in like a submarine, and it reminds me of the Titan submarine, if y'all remember that from 2023. It was so scary. These people could have possibly been trapped in a submarine, but it ended up the submarine blew up, so they weren't trapped. But still, it's so scary to think about being in a confined space. But not a lot of people have been in submarines, so I have a very hard time picturing that. Writing is fine. The plot is the best part. Plot is a 5-star. It's page turning, suspenseful, and I love that plot. And I don't know, I have no idea where it's going to go at this point. No idea. But Fred wants to leave, so I got 133 pages in here today, and I intend to finish that book tomorrow on Wednesday. Okay, I never said in this vlog, I literally just got done with my nighttime routine, but I am reading my ebook, which is A Breath of Snow and Ashes by Dana Gabaldon. I don't know what percent of the way into it, but I'm on chapter 23, which is 228 pages in the physical copy. These copies, it's over 1,000 pages. This would just be so hard to read physically. I got this box set as a gift from my dad, which I'm so thankful for, because I do annotate in the physical copies. If you can see the tabs, that's where I've annotated. So I am thankful to have physical copies, but they are just difficult to read in the mass market paperback format. This hair is crazy. I didn't brush my hair. I don't brush my hair when it's wet. I've heard that does damage. I did mean to trim my hair. I meant to do that while it was wet, but I know I could just go back in there right now, but I'm like, no, I'm already in bed. I'm going to read 1 chapter in here, and then I don't know what I'm going to do. I kind of want to, I've been researching the Lombards. I think I talked about that before, because Lombardy is where I was in Italy, and I am fascinated by these. You had a lot of Germanic tribes, I don't know, who took down the Western Roman Empire, and the Lombards were one of them. And so I was right where all those attacks were happening, and so I'm super fascinated in that. I'm fascinated by that. So that's what I'm currently reading on, and I want to know what the Norse connection is to the Lombards, because the Lombards did come from northern Germany, and I'm curious about all these Germanic tribes that invaded Italy and the Roman Empire. What is their connection to the Vikings that we had that raided England and obviously Iceland, Greenland, Newfoundland? What is the connection there? I found an article on a big Norwegian website, so I'm going to go into that research. Happy Wednesday. Let me tell y'all what I've been dealing with today, because it is super annoying and you're gonna be hearing it in the background. So my dog was barking and like continuously barking, and I was like, okay, because at first I was like, she's just barking at one of my neighbors getting the mail or something like that, getting their trash can. But no, there was nobody outside, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go out there and see what's happening. So I saw that Bud, my cat, my outdoor cat, was on one of the fence posts. So I was like, okay, she's barking at him. Kind of weird, because they know each other and play with each other every single day. So it's kind of weird that she would bark at him, like she doesn't know him. But there are other black cats in the neighborhood, so I was like, maybe it's not Bud, maybe it's one of them. So I go out there, and Bud instantly starts meowing and comes to me, and it's fine. So Delilah sees that he's no longer on the fence post, but keeps barking and barking. So I'm like, why is she barking if she can see that Bud is not up there? She can see that Bud's right here. So I eventually go in because I'm like, what can I do? And then I look out my window that is right behind the camera right now, and I see a squirrel is on the fence. So I was like, now there's a squirrel. That's gonna cause an uproar. And I think the squirrel was there the whole time. Even when hold on, I'm gonna zoom in because I don't want to show other people's houses because that would be rude. Okay, so I was over there in that corner. I know it's not focusing, but you can tell that's a fence. The squirrel was on that fence post. I'm like, what if it had jumped on me? That would have been terrifying because, like, do they have rabies? I feel like squirrels don't have rabies. I'm not sure. Is that him on the branch? No, I think that's a bird. Yeah, that's a bird. It's a little, finch. But, so a squirrel was up there and my cat was on the fence. My dog on two legs, not even up against the fence, is standing on two legs, barking, and the cat was trying to get the squirrel. So the squirrel is then having a Lion King moment where it's like hanging on to the edge of the fence. I'm like, dude, I've seen squirrels fall out of tall pine trees. Jump off the fence and just run. Run in the grass. I'm telling you, the cat's not gonna catch up with you, dude. It's not gonna happen because the cat would have to jump off the fence and then go across other people's yards. It wouldn't happen. So the squirrel is obviously dumb and it did not do that. And I'm pretty sure it is still up there, which has been over an hour now. So my dog has seemed to settle down. Let's see. Yeah, she's right there. I don't know if y'all can see that. And the cat is probably in the bushes. I don't see him, but he could be on the other side of the posts where I can't see. So it's super, yeah. Oh, I see the squirrel. I see the squirrel. He's in the tree. He is in the tree. There he is. So I'm glad to know. I was scared he might be stuck, like he was stuck between the limb and the fence. But he's climbed all the way up the tree. So I don't know if this is like a really young squirrel. If y'all know anything about squirrels, does he look really young? Because I'm like, what if he's a baby and he's just so scared? I have nothing against squirrels, I should tell y'all. So I really didn't want any of my pets to kill him. Because, as I said, I have nothing against squirrels. They're fine. I know people get really mad that they go to the bird feeders and that's what he's at, but honestly, I don't care because, I mean, that's there for all animals, in my opinion, because I know in wintertime it's very hard for them to find food and everything. So I am fine with squirrels going to my bird feeder, but honestly, I don't want my cat to kill him. I've never had a cat or dog kill a squirrel. I've had, I don't remember if it was Penny or Max got a squirrel in their mouth and then didn't know what to do with it once they caught him, so they just let him go. So I've never had a pet kill a squirrel. And I mean, a squirrel's kind of big compared to like birds and frogs and all of that kind of thing, even a snake. I've dealt with all those kind of animals, but I'm gonna hope the squirrel can get where he's going. I'm proud that he's made it up the tree, and hopefully he'll get going soon. Okay guys, so it is in the upper 60s, low 70s today. I'm actually kind of cold now that the wind's blowing. I think it's supposed to rain any minute now, so I'm going to make the most of my time outside. So the squirrel is in the tree. I'm pretty sure he's still there, and my cat is like right under, like he's on the fence looking up at the tree, and I'm like, dude, please do not try to climb that tree because I do not trust his branches and I don't want you falling. But I get to read outside today, which is super fun because I adore reading outside. These are dog chews. I adore getting to read outside. It's literally my favorite pastime. I love reading outside. I can't wait for March. I keep telling people like, ooh, little bluebird, he's so cute. I can't wait till March when everything's all green. Today's giving me like kind of a sneak peek of spring. Like I woke up feeling like spring. We have the squirrels out, we have all the little cute birdies out, and I'm here with my girl Delilah. But I am going to get into reading now. It is 3 o'clock exactly, and I will update y'all sometime. Here's my cat though. I don't know where the squirrel is. He's somewhere. Oh, right there. I feel so bad for the guy, but I mean, he must be kind of dumb. any books at Target this week. Be proud of me. The squirrel, he made it back home, so, or at least he's not in a tree and his body's not anywhere, so that is great. And then a lizard did die though, because there was a lizard carcass on my porch. But I did get another one of these totes. This tag on my sweater is driving me crazy, but I got another one of these totes. I do not know if this is actually safe to have them sat like this, but I don't have kids or anything, and there's gonna be no kids here to, like, you know, try to climb up it or anything. Cats, maybe. But this is, I'm seeing if there would be room. I think I could probably get like one over there because I do have my stuffed animal hammock thing. So, but when these stacks move, there will be more room to put more of these. But this is when you know you have a problem. When you have a TBR cart this big. They could be carts. See, it is called a cart. Oh, they're taped. I forget they tape these. I need to get scissors in to untape the drawers and then get to putting books in here. We're going to be starting with historical fiction, and I think historical fiction will take up pretty much all of it. I have problems. I've been craving soda so bad, and I'm usually a like Pepsi Zero. I don't know exactly what Pepsi calls it, but zero sugar, but they did not have any, so this Diet Pepsi is everything at the moment. I think that probably means I'm dehydrated, and I have had water today, but I was really craving soda. But yes, I got the scissors to cut open these drawers, and then we will get to, that's so dangerous, then we will get to putting the books in here. Accidentally just kicked down all my nonfiction books. The books that I'm sorting. Why do cats have to get in these smallest places possible? Why did they do that? Okay, so I got pretty much the majority of my historical fiction books in this box. We have these two that didn't make it in, but I'm going to just put the rest of my historical fiction. Okay, it's not closing. Hold on. Sometimes you have to lift it up. Okay, because we don't want books to get damaged. So this one about Aunt and Bonnie. I'm just going to stack them on the top of the cart because I wouldn't be able, I could get a cart up here, but I would have to have a ladder or something. I'd be way too short. So I'm just going to put the rest of my historical fiction books that are on my TBR on top of these drawers. under my table where all my TBR jars are. So if you hear stuff falling, he's been knocking them down. So we have books for videos I need to do. Then these are the rest of some of these. This was my 5-star prediction. I filmed that video like yesterday. So I do need to get those in a nice stack because those are books that I'm actively going to be reading. These are the nonfiction books that fell. So we have contemporary or nonfiction. I don't know if all this is nonfiction. Yeah, that's all nonfiction. Nonfiction, sci-fi, thrillers, romance that we have to get more drawers for. So I don't know if that'll be 1 or 2 more of these carts. Hopefully not too many because, again, I just don't really have room. But since these stacks are progressively getting off the floor, I do think that will mean we have more room in here to put more of these carts. Guys, I finished my January TBR. I'm so proud of myself for that because at the start of the month, with how long it took me to read Wanderers, I did not think I'd be able to get through my TBR, so I am so happy for that. So let's review Spear now. The 3 words I used to describe this book are suspenseful, fast, and open-ended. I wasn't sure if open-ended is 1 word or 2, but we're doing it as 1 word. And the author is Michael Crichton, genre sci-fi. It's published in 1987, and I started the book on the 22nd and finished on the 24th, and I'm giving it a 3.85, which is a 4-star. Let's go into my thoughts on it. So characters, I'm giving a 3-star. They were fine, like our main character, Norman, he was fine. The side characters, definitely, as I said, keep note of them on your phone or something, have a chart because they are not that well developed. Atmosphere, I think the atmosphere added so much to the story because we are in a pretty confined environment, and I think that just adds in a lot of suspense, a lot of claustrophobia, and a lot of emotion to you when you're reading it. Like, you can feel a lot, like you feel that anxiety, but it was not well written because I was having a really hard time picturing what it's like in these habitats. I'm not sure if that is some kind of submarine or what. So, I mean, I had somewhat of a picture in my head, but I have no idea if it was correct or not. Writing was 3. It was fine. It was easy, fast-paced, to read. Plot was a 5. I loved the plot. I loved how suspenseful it was, how intriguing. I was wanting to know what was going to happen next, and I loved the ideas of aliens, of time travel, but it was a little open-ended for me. By the end, I'm like, okay, I need more, and this is not a series to my understanding, so it was a bit too open-ended for my taste, but so I still give it a 5 though for that. And then intrigue I gave a 5 because it was such a page turner. Logic a 3 just for that open-endedness because I don't really know. I don't get where did the spaceship come from? What is the sphere? I don't understand. And then enjoyment was a 4 because it just felt like a 4-star the whole time. So yes, I will be giving it a 4-star and writing my review after I film this clip. Show you all my bookmarks. I used this Outlander one that I think is from Litjoy. So it has Claire on one side and Jamie on the other. Happy Thursday from my beautiful bed. I am starting a new book today, and that is Torch by Cheryl Strayed. So I wanted to tell y'all what this book is about. So work hard, do good, be incredible is the advice Teresa Ray Wood shares with the listeners of her local radio show, Modern Pioneers, and the advice she strives to live by every day. She has fled a bad marriage and rebuilt a life with her children, Claire and Joshua, and their caring stepfather, Bruce. Their love for each other binds them as a family through the daily struggles of making ends meet. But then they receive unexpected news that Teresa, only 38, is dying of cancer. Their lives all begin to unravel and drift apart. Strayed's intimate portraits of these fully human characters in a time of crisis show the varying truths of grief, forgiveness, and the beautiful terrors of learning how to keep living. So this is the first book in my 5-star prediction project, and it's also going to be my first fiction book by Cheryl Strayed because I read her memoir, which is wild, and the title is wild. I loved it. I devoured it. I read it for Nonfiction November a few years ago, and I highly, highly recommend it. So I do want to check out her fiction books as well, and this one just seems so reminiscent to what happened in her own life in Wild. So that should be interesting to see how authors take things that happen in their real lives and make it fiction. I'm curious about that. One, I think it would be therapeutic. Two, what if you change the real to how you wish you would have handled a situation, or how other people handled the situation? I think it's a really intriguing subject. Also, I see here that this does have a reading guide in the back for people who do book clubs and that kind of thing. And I've been debating, because the student in me wants to answer these questions so bad, like write out answers, and I'm like, I don't need to do that. So I'm thinking, because I write reviews every other month, that would be in January, March, so on. What if in those other months, like February, April, June, if a book has the reading guide in the back, I post my answers online on my blog. I'm thinking of doing that. But I'm reading this book physically, and I am going to be annotating it. This is my nice secondhand copy. Yeah, this is secondhand, and I mean, this is great condition. So shout out to whoever I bought this from. But yes, I'm going to be annotating and starting that at 3 o'clock, which is in 3 minutes. So sleepy. I didn't say, but I know I'm laying down, but this morning Delilah was barking like crazy, so I was like, oh my gosh, the squirrel is back. But no, there was another little terrier. He wasn't little, or she, it was a girl, wasn't little. She was about a little smaller than Delilah, was out there, and I met her, and she was super sweet, but she had escaped from her fence, and yeah. Her name was Delta. She was really cute. But yeah, so that woke me up, and I just couldn't get back to sleep. And I've been up ever since. So, I mean, I only woke up like an hour. I'm looking at those. An hour earlier than I usually do, but I'm just super tired. And that's probably not helping my reading experience with Torch. Definitely, if you're picking this up, do the audiobook if there is one, because I'm having a hard time. It's like a 3-star right now. I don't actually know, but like, if I did it with no call pal, I would say a 3, like somewhere in the 3-star category. So first, I think the prose itself, I love the words, but I think this is going to be too long or overwritten. I don't know how I can say both of those things. That's just the vibe I'm getting. It takes a long time to get through long chapters. Our chapters are like, the longest one has been over 20 pages, which I like a good 15-page chapter. So, I mean, it's not that bad, but, you know. But these characters, I'm really liking the mother, who is Teresa, and the son Joshua. They're my favorites so far. Claire and Bruce are our other characters, who are the daughter and then the husband. They're fine, but I just really have enjoyed Teresa and Joshua's story more as characters, and I do think that it could get better as we go along, because I will get more connected with these characters. Atmosphere, I feel like the atmosphere is really strong. It's playing a good part in this story. This takes place in northern Minnesota. I've only been to the airport in Minnesota, so I'm not really familiar, but west of Duluth, so very far north. And it's a small town with only 408 people, and I really like this setting. Yeah. But yeah, plot, I'm kind of bored. This is very much slice of life, but this is so reminiscent of Crossroads, just in the sense that it's a Midwestern family that we're following day to day, slice of life. Yeah, it really reminds me of Jonathan Franzen's writing. It's because it's having all those same, in Crossroads, I loved the setting, I loved the characters, and I liked the themes, but the writing was just really dense, and I'm gonna say this is somewhat episodic. I'm not 100% certain on that yet. I'm only 26% of the way into the book. I don't know if I would call it episodic yet, but it just feels it's kind of hard to follow the time passing, because we do have flashback scenes and all of that. So this is very reminiscent, now that I'm sitting here and thinking about it, of Jonathan Franzen's Crossroads, which I did not expect at all. But yes, they are very similar, but I mean, it's fine. I am enjoying it, but I am just really tired. So I don't know if maybe just me being tired is impacting that, or the book actually is really like dense and draining. We're just going to have to see where that goes. But I'm gonna have some leftovers of those nachos that y'all saw earlier. I do have a hockey game to watch tonight, and there is a really good women's basketball game tonight. USC, which South Carolina USC is playing LSU, and I love that kind of rivalry we kind of have. I love LSU football. I shouldn't say love, I like it. But, and then Gamecock women's basketball, but the Gamecocks, it's like my home team, you know? So that would be fun to watch, but I care more about hockey, if I'm being honest. Yeah, and I'm just in more of a hockey mood because I really enjoyed myself last night watching the game with friends. But I am going to go get those nachos and turn the game on. It's another 7:30. We have two back-to-back 7:30 games. On the original schedule, I have a printed out schedule, or my dad did, and I stole it from his office, of the printed out schedule. And it said this game was going to be at 7 o'clock, but then they posted today on Instagram or Facebook, I don't remember which one, saying 7:30. And then I looked in on ESPN, it said 7:30. So I don't know why they changed it. Maybe just not so it can be exactly 24 hours apart. I don't know, with the back-to-back and all. And then, yeah, I don't know. So I'm going to go do everything I said I was going to go do. Hey guys, Fred is here, my little man. But I got done reading The Castle Keepers for the day. I just went ahead and finished it, and I read extra. No, I didn't finish the book, but I read, because I like to read 25 pages a day in there, but I read 43 because I just wanted to finish that, because this is 3 novellas, so I went ahead and finished the first novella in the book, and I was not a fan. Let's actually do we're doing Cop Pal just for the novella, if I can type here. So characters, the character was girl boss, not like other girls, like, I'm so cool. I came from America to marry this British man, but because I was a failure in America, but look at me. I got one of the richest, most powerful men in the UK. And, yeah, she was very childish. She was in her 20s. I don't remember the exact age, but I'm like, no 20-something-year-old is acting like that. So we're giving a 1 star to the characters, because all the other characters were just like, I didn't care. Atmosphere was fine. I do like a good castle atmosphere, but I mean, it didn't play a huge part. And then writing, it was fine. And then the plot was very predictable, and it did nothing for me. So a 2 worse than do that. So that was a 2.25, the first novella in here. Now these are all by different authors, so that is why I'm not like, I don't think this book is gonna suck completely, because I do think these other authors might do more intriguing things. And the Victorian times, that's not really a time period that I'm extremely fascinated in UK history. It's just not. But we have 1917 next, and that is one, like, what is he doing? But okay, 1917 is one of my favorite eras in history, the First World War. I love learning about that time period. I love reading books that take place and watching movies, TV shows. So I do think that one and that plot, I read it to y'all earlier what it's about. I do think that one will be really interesting. I will start that tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, comment, rate, and subscribe, and ring that notification bell to be notified when all my videos go live. If you made it through this whole video, leave a castle emoji. I don't know if there's a castle one. If there's not, leave a black cat emoji in the comments below. And if you would like to follow me on any of my social medias, that is all linked down below in the description of the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!